Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another AFL video and I'm joined with a very special guest. A fan favourite on the channel if you will.
True.
And that happens to be the big cutie patootie next to me, Tyrone. Again, some of you guys might remember him with the more controversial takes on the channel, such as the Collingwood finishing 14th in 2025 call.
We don't talk about that one.
No, but I actually haven't even told you what we're talking about in today's video. I texted
no
this
idea.
guy and I'm like, bro, come watch the footy, come bring some Hungry Jacks around. I've got a throat infection from sucking too much willy. And
Not mine.
let's make a video. So, today, Tyrone, what we're talking about
Oh, here we go.
is
I saw it.
a little SCN video that came out of Big Kingy and the Lord and Saviour, not so Jesus Christ himself, Kane Corns, talking about who they think Jamarra Ugle-Hagan should go to at the end of the year. They've listed 4 clubs here. One of them is a team you support in the St Kilda Football Club. One of them is a team in the Collingwood Football Club who half their fan base hate your soul. And then the other 2 are the Melbourne Demons and Sydney Swans. So I thought in today's video, it'd be a little bit fun to talk about who the former pick 1 could potentially go to in the off season, because as we know, he's not going back to the Western Bulldogs at the end of 2025. So Tyrone, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on your rank, putting you on the spot. Out of those 4 teams, who is least likely and most likely to sign Jamarra Ugle-Hagan at the end of the year?
Okay, if I'm being honest, I have no idea where he goes. I hope that helps. I don't know. I guess who's linked to him, but I know what teams need him. Collingwood, I wouldn't say need him, but certainly would help.
Yes, yep.
He is young. They have no young key forwards. They have no young players, if I'm being honest.
Bro, every video is just Tyrone roasting the best team in the AFL for 10 minutes straight.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, Nick Dacos, Josh Dacos. Yeah, anyway. He would be a good fit for Collingwood, but he's too young, so... Sydney, I like.
Yep.
I think that would be very good.
They do need a key forward.
They need a key forward. I can see that happening, if I'm being honest. Who's the other one? Melbourne?
You got Melbourne and the St Kilda Football Club.
Melbourne need a key forward.
They need a key forward bad.
I don't think their cultural... What's the word? I don't think their culture is suitable for Jamarra.
Okay.
Especially with all the off-field stuff. And then Saints, well, I mean, just lock it in. He's coming to the Saints.
Saints do need another key forward.
We do need another key forward, especially considering Max King
Is always dead.
So
If you're looking at it, right, out of those 4 teams, if I had to say a team that out of them would be least likely, in my opinion, it'd have to be the Melbourne Demons. Just based off the fact that, yes, they need a key forward, but in my opinion, they need a key forward who's going to be able to take responsibility, lead up the ground, take a pack mark. They need kind of everything when it comes to a key forward. And I don't think Jamarra Ugle-Hagan is in a situation where he can be that. He probably needs to go and sit behind someone for at least a year or 2. And that could be a reason Collingwood could be good for him, because Dan McStay does all the dirty work. Brody Myercheck does all the dirty work. They need a guy to do... He needs a guy to do all the dirty work so he can get on a couple. That would be good. St Kilda's a tough one, in my opinion, as well, because they also, I think, need a guy who does the dirty work, because Max King is constantly NA. Sydney would actually be a really, really good option, because they have a ton of different key forwards that Jamarra can actually learn behind. And the fact is they're trying to find... I think they do. They have a bunch of key forwards who do the job. The issue is none of them at this time right now do the job to an extreme high level, and that's why they're currently dropping a guy here and there. And you got a guy like Peter Laddams, who is playing footy in 2025.
Yeah,
in the
bad.
big 2025, Peter Laddams is playing footy when this guy was practically exiled from the freaking state by John Longmire. I think personally, in my opinion, and this is an interesting call right here. Our mate Blake, Big Blake, who used to have Collingwood connections, believes that they are the most likely to sign him. And this is the guy who told me that Dan McStay was going to Collingwood like 3 months before it actually happened.
Exclusive news.
And he doesn't have any connections there anymore, but he's saying from what he heard, Collingwood are a massive chance and they are actually interested in him, which is not something that I don't think anything's been really reported. And I don't know if his sources are as good as what they used to be when he had greater connections there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the guy who freaking... I said it on the channel years ago that like Dan McStay was going to Collingwood. People were like, how do you know? I had a mate who literally confirmed that shit like straight away. Take that with what you want. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I think they're actually a really good option. And in my opinion, they're possibly the best option, I think.
I think it makes perfect sense. Like,
even though you've roasted them the whole entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in sarcasm. But I think Collingwood would make the most sense with like the coach, the whole culture. I think they'll help him off field the most as well. And on field, it's a perfect fit. They need a key forward. It'll be the key forward for the next 10 years.
10 years. So who is St Kilda's key forwards other than Max King right now? Who is alive right now other than Max King?
So Mitch Owens will kind of be second fiddle.
Yeah, okay.
And then Cooper Sharman is kind of like
So you guys are in absolute desperate need for a key forward.
Yeah.
And why this is interesting is because, as we know, technically the Saints should be an option. Kane Corns believes that the Saints should be like the best option because Ross Lyon actually has a pretty good history at getting getting a lot of good out of, I think, young players. And the thing is with the St Kilda Football Club is we know they're going to attack the off-season heavily. They are, I think, a lock to get Tom De Koning at this point. They're a lock to get Lee Kalia. They're probably they're pretty high in the race right now for Bergman. Bergman could re-sign at the time of making this video, and if he did, he's basically just slapping us in the face with his cock because I have to edit this shit. But even if he does, it doesn't really matter because he's the example of a bunch of other players like Warple and all that they are really interested in, and I think a pretty likely chance, like Silvani as well. At the end of the day, they should be walking out of this free agency and draft period with at least 3 players.
Yeah.
I think. And
I agree. I think that's about right.
Jamarra could be amongst that group of young players that they look at. So, I mean, if they can get Max King healthy, imagine a 1-2 punch of Max King and Jamarra, as well as a Cooper Sharman as like the third tall maybe, who can play ruck, right?
Not Sharman.
No.
Mitch Owens.
Mitch Owens, okay.
Chop outs in the ruck.
So, end of the day, you're going to need a third key to be like the ruckman type of situation. And then you got De Koning in the ruck. Or, I mean, if Marshall is still there, which you'd hope he would be, King, Jamarra, and Marshall on the same forward line. With Jack Higgins as the small forward, a bit of Liam Henry in there.
Oh, stop it.
Would go down pretty well.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be
very nice.
That'd be pretty good. But then, yeah, you gotta... I don't think I'm gonna rule out Melbourne. Melbourne make no sense.
No.
Melbourne make no sense because unless Jamarra and them, unless they think that Jamarra can come in and be like the number 1 key straight away, like he's ready. But in saying that, with everything that's happened with Melbourne over the last couple of years, the most recent trade disaster of last year, are you going to take a gamble on a Jamarra Ugle-Hagan?
I think the only reason they are on that list is because they have no key forward at the moment. So, I mean, apart from the fact they don't have a key forward, like nothing else makes sense. So, lock them out.
Lock them out. Sydney, I still think would be pretty good. It should be out of Sydney, Collingwood, or St Kilda. So, final say, if you had to pick someone right now to end the video off.
The way I'd put it is Melbourne, definitely not. Saints, I guess not, but maybe. And then I reckon it's between Sydney and Collingwood, but I'll lean towards Collingwood.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in Collingwood. So there you go. It's a bit of an opinionated video for you guys right now. AFL news is drier than Ty's mum's fucking box.
Come on.
Can I say that without getting demonetized?
I'll show mum this.
Good. I'm asserting dominance with that.
Wow. Okay.
Subscribe to this channel for all latest AFL content. My gaming channel will be linked down below. Leave a like on the video for more AFL videos, whatever. Are you going to do your peace out thing?
Hit the bell.
Oh yeah, turn on the notification bell. I never say that.
Come on, mate.
Follow me on Instagram while we're at it. Peace!